Oh my gosh.
They obviously. All right. Can you guys hear us on Zoom now? All right. Thank you. So they muted now? Good afternoon and welcome to Road Gateway Rotary Club. Peeking around to see who's in person and who's on Zoom. We are going to get started with the pledge today, and Pat Bath will lead us, and I think she is in the room. I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
If you'll join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I think Dawn Welch is on Zoom. I think I saw her. She's got her inspiration today.
I do, and it seems most appropriate as we're looking at what's happening in the Ukraine. This is a prayer of peace. May I become at all times, both now and forever, a protector for those without protecting, a guide for those who have lost their way, a ship for those with oceans to cross, a bridge for those with rivers to cross, a sanctuary for those in danger, a lamp for those without light, a place of refuge for those who lack shelter, and a servant to all in need.
Thank you. It's beautiful. All right. I don't see any, let me look quickly, any visiting Rotarians in the room, but I do notice that we have a couple of visiting Rotarians on our screen today. I think I see past District Governor Del Gray up in the corner there. Hello, welcome. And I think we also have our Assistant Governor Bruce Reese with us.
Yes, welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Hello, Bruce. Welcome. All right. Any other visiting Rotarians? Grant Walker. He's yes. Grant, welcome back. Hello. Any guests? I don't see any in the room. What about on Zoom land? Okay, well, welcome to all of our visiting Rotarians and guests. We are going to rearrange the order of our schedule a little bit today so that we can give our RYLA students a chance to make their presentation and get back to school. So I just want to do two quick announcements and let them get some of their food down. So we actually have some members to recognize. With their blue badges. So would Christina Dodd-Jones and Leonora Rod. So they have both been wonderful members of our club for a while now. They've gone through all of their checklists and they have upgraded red badge to a blue badge. So there you go. To quicker individuals. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. All right. So before we move on to announcements and the rest of our meeting, we want to bring Delynn Sharpen up, who's going to introduce our speakers today.
Thank you, President Gina Marie. Fellow Rotarians, I am pleased to present to you guys today. We not only have our two participants for RYLA, but we also have our North Valley advisor, Tiffany Mackey. Many of you guys already know her, but I'd like to introduce Zoe Brower and JL Meyer. They've been with us out at North Valley since freshmen. They are now juniors, and they had the great opportunity to go to RYLA.
Sure.
I'm Zoe. This is JL. Oh, sorry. I'm Zoe. This is JL. We heard about RYLA towards the beginning of last year, and they always talked about how like it was going to be such an amazing experience. You're going to meet a bunch of new people. I was like, oh, it's a summer camp. Like, yeah, it's a leadership summer camp. Like, no, but it was definitely a life-changing experience, and it's something that I highly recommend, like for underclassmen to do. I enjoyed it so much. I met so many amazing people that I still talk to, that I get like ideas on projects for Interact. Like, it's just an amazing group of people to come over. I just highly recommend.
Just through the leadership activities that they did, I learned a lot about myself and other people. And I think it was just a really great leadership camp to go to. And I just learned a lot of important skills like interacting with people, like being compassionate. And sometimes you don't always know what someone's going through. Like we did this activity called stepping up to the line or something like that. And the person in charge of the camp would say a statement, and then if you agreed with it, you would step up to the line and then walk back, or like stay in the position that you were in if you didn't agree with it. And that was a really hard exercise for everybody there, and it required you to be very vulnerable and just disclose a lot of stuff about yourself that you might have never said. And we all went back to our small groups and talked about it, and we just got to learn about everybody else. And I thought that that was a really amazing experience.
So the picture we have right now is when we first got there, they got us off the bus and they're all cheering, all excited. It was a great way to like start the camp off. They got us in our shirts, they took our pictures, everyone set up, and then we all like came together. Like this was our first time coming all together because we all came in like separate buses. So we came together, and it was already like, we already became like a family. Like people were already hugging. Like, I don't know, it was such a great experience. But yeah. Throughout the camp, we did the group activities, but we also did other activities. Like they had these packs, and you like built robotic arms for people in foreign countries, like who didn't have access to that kind of stuff. So we got to actually build an arm for someone. So on the right, we got to decorate the bag and everything and send it off. And there's enclosed in the package is a letter we wrote to them, and then picture of all of us and with the arm. So it was just a super cool experience, and it was surreal to think that like someone's actually going to use something that I made. It was crazy. Yeah, please.
So this was like a hike that we did up to this area, and it was super like beautiful, and it just taught me a lot about like endurance and like sticking with something even though it might be difficult, because the hike was like a little bit strenuous and you had to like walk uphill, and it just like taught me like not to give up even though something may be hard, because at the end it's all worth it, because we got to see like the beautiful view, and there was like a little bit of a breeze, and we they had us take like a group picture from like a drone that they flew, and we all got to like talk and hang out. And then after that we went back down and we had pizza, and we were able to like make friendship bracelets, and it was just a really great way to connect with everybody at the camp.
These are just some pictures we got along with new people we've made. Like going into it, it was really nice, like already knowing someone from my school and already having a friend, but just like we got off the bus and we met this one girl named Sarah, and we just instantly, like, it was like we knew each other forever. It was like that with everyone at the camp. Everyone was super nice. We all had like the same sort of like passion towards leadership. We all had like the same drive. So like after a long day, like we would lay out in like the courtyard area, and we'd watch the stars, and we just got to talking. Like I felt like I know these people, like known these people for my whole life. It was just amazing.
So we took this at the end of camp, and I think it was a really great way to end the camp, because it
reminded us of like the members in our group. And it was just like a nice memory to have. And every group had an animal. Like there were I think I was part of the cougars group, and then there were the beavers and a bunch of others. And it was fun to do like all the little activities and like talk with your group after like a long day, because they would have intervals where you could just get with that group and talk and like process everything. And I think that that was a really great idea that they had, to where you could get connected with a group on a more like intimate level than when you're with like a big huge group, because it's a little bit harder to like communicate your ideas when you're in such a big group, because there's less of a chance for you to like get your voice heard. But in those small groups, you were able to like have a chance to talk and speak, which I thought was really cool. I think it was the second to last night. We had the bonfire. So we all gathered around like this bonfire. We told stories. We had like a little like talent show where everyone got to show off like what things they're passionate about. Or like we sang like campfire songs, told stories, and then we all made snow s'mores. And then someone made the mistake of bringing a speaker, and it turned into a dance. So on the right, we all just started like, I don't know. It was so much fun. There was like actually like a planned dance at the end, but we danced 2 nights in a row. It was great. That the head that Zoe is holding, it was their small group's mascot that they named, and I forgot the name. Beatrice. It was Beatrice, I guess. And they put it on like a stick, I guess, and it was just to show their mascot. And then they also connected by some that was one of the school counselors and one of the other leadership kids that was actually in my small group, the Cougars, and they were bonding over doing each other's makeup. I forgot which activity, or if it was just for fun. Was it? It was just for fun. It was just for fun, so they had fun with that. Presentation day, like it was nerve-wracking at first, but then like you walk into the room and then everyone was just there to listen to your ideas, just like gather from it. The counselors did a great job. Like they didn't direct us on what to do, but they kind of like led us in the direction. So we definitely got like a bunch of creative freedom. For my presentation, I did something called Kids for Consent. It's just to teach like younger kids like difference between like yes and no, and it just helps kids like understand that they can say no if they feel like they need to. It was definitely a great project, and I definitely is something I want to continue with. And I know a lot of people in my group are going to continue with that. And it's crazy to think of like that was an idea we all had. Like we threw out like a bunch of different ideas, but that's something we all kind of connected with, and we just ran with it, and it was an amazing, just like. So for my group, what we did is how there's the little libraries like around neighborhoods where you can just take a book and then you leave a book. That was our idea, to increase the number of those in communities, because with how the world is today and like always on the internet, like always plugged in, like just sometimes that can be a little bit consuming, and it's nice to just like sit down and like have access to like a book to read. And we were talking about how it'd be multilingual, so it gives more access to people who might be bilingual or English might not be their main language, so they can like pick up a book. And also some people that might be nervous to go to the library because maybe their reading skills aren't that great, or they just don't want to be seen in a library because they don't think it's that cool. They could just come to that at night and take one, and then leave a book if they wanted to. And I thought that was a really cool idea, because I don't think that reading is like encouraged enough, and I think it should be, because it teaches you a lot, and I think it's really like a window into other people's lives. And even though you might not be able to like physically be there to experience like the plot line or the story, you can still see into other people's lives. And I think that's just a great experience to have. Um, with RYLA, like there wasn't any cell service, but I really felt no need to use my phone. Like I was already with the people I wanted to talk to. So it was like, yeah, it would be nice to talk to like my family and like my other friends and stuff, but we were always doing stuff. We were always like, we always kept moving. We were always learning. And I left my phone in the cabin the whole time. The only time I really took it out was to take pictures and like capture memories, but it was like some memories you just really can't capture. So it was, I don't know, it's something I really want to do again, maybe come back as a counselor sometime. I really enjoyed it. All in all, I think RYLA was a great experience and it will stick with me throughout my entire life. And I just want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity to go. And it just showed me a lot about myself and a lot about others. And I can't thank you enough for that.
All right, before I let them go, I want to see if anyone has any questions. So we'll start in the room, but if you're on Zoom and you want to ask a question, raise your little Zoom hand and we'll call on you next. Anybody? Delin?
They had another activity where you had to use teamwork. So everybody from your group had to stand on this like fabric leaf and you had to flip over the leaf without stepping off of it. And it was like a big fabric leaf. So it wasn't just like a tiny one, but you had to flip it over to the other side and you had to all like collaborate and use your ideas. Um, and so I think that was just a great way to like encourage teamwork. Yes. Yes, hopefully we bring that back to our own little interact group. Like, hopefully that's something that we pursue. I think we are going to, but yes, they're gonna help out with that.
Any of the other projects with any other groups?
There. Oh yeah. So some of the other projects that were there, I remember one of them was I think it was Phoenix that had the big fire last year. They had a project that was like donate a tree or like donate your time to plant a tree. So they wanted to just like reforest that area. So it was, yeah, I think it was either donate your time or donate like money to purchase a tree. So I think that one was super cool. And then, oh yeah, they had going to do like a food, ask people to just like give food so they could distribute to the community for anybody who was in need. And I thought that was really cool. The question was if I learned like a quality about myself or like in someone else at camp. And I definitely learned that I was more trusting than I thought. Like I think of myself as like more of like a reserved person, but we got there and we did the walk the line and we went into our small groups and I just felt like I could open up to these people because they were also opening up to me and I felt so trusting and so vulnerable with them. So I learned that I was more trusting than I thought.
I can't really think of one off the top of my head, but I think a quality I learned about myself was my ability to be strong for others, because some of the activities were like kind of heavy, like they were focused on like heavy talk. Some people were like crying or just like upset, and I was there to kind of be like a listening ear and like reassure them. And I never really thought of myself in that way because I have a hard time myself being vulnerable. So I just thought that that was really cool that the activities helped so I could show other people that I was like that.
Are there any questions on Zoom?
They asked the questions to be repeated.
No? Last chance. Oh, Deb Amin.
Sorry, I was fumbling with my mute button. I would ask the girls, as you think about the time you all spent together and you think about the challenges in our world, what about that experience gives you hope?
This experience showed me that there's a lot of people, like this was just Southern Oregon, I think. So all of those kids all had passion and drive to do what they wanted to do. After the presentations, they all were setting up plans to like, continue it in their own communities. And I thought it was super impressive to me. They're like, these are all teenagers. They're like boyfriends and sports and like other stuff going on. Like they wanted to focus on the bigger picture. So it just, the amount of passion and drive.
It gave me hope because I realized that there's a lot more kindness in the world. And I feel like sometimes I can get too focused on negative thoughts in my own head and not realize the people around me that are there to support me. And like Zoe said, even though it was only for like a couple of days and like we had just met, through all the activities, we were able to just really bond, and people were there for other people. Like if they saw someone upset or if they saw someone needed a friend, they would just offer to. And I think that the camp was just a great way to put it into perspective and show that people really are there for you.
Thank you. You just gave me hope.
Last chance? No? All right. Well, thank you, ladies, very much. We appreciate it. It does offer us a lot of hope for the future, and great to see the amazing things that our students are doing, and to Tiffany as well for helping lead these ladies and the rest of our Interact Club. Okay, so we have a few announcements before we get to our Sergeant at Arms. A couple more presentations that I want to make. Just two presentations. One, we're still playing catch up from last year a little bit, and the fact that we have not been in person for a while, but our club does a Super Bowl pool every year as a fundraiser for the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund. And the winner at Super Bowl pool wins a Paul Harris Fellowship or Fellow Award. And last year's winner was Leonora Rogers. And so I have her Paul Harris Fellow. Thank you. All right. And Steve Rowe, do you have a presentation to make for our club today?
So we've heard a lot about hope today, and this is hope right here. Hope is a registered therapy dog. And it's for me, it's kind of good to be back in Rotary because, as you remember, Molly used to come to Rotary with me and she passed on during COVID, but she's a new generation for therapy dogs in our house. So regarding Rotary, Rotary has annually a leadership for the presidential citation, it's called. And our club was achieved the Rotary citation for 2021-22. There were only 2 clubs in the District 5110. And District 5110 goes from about Corvallis, includes Northern Oregon. So there's quite a few Rotary clubs in that area. So for our club to achieve that was really a great effort. And I feel each person in this room, each person in the Zoom world, and those members that weren't able to be here today, each of you played your own role in how we achieved that presidential citation. And we think about the community service that we did, the club service that we did, the fellowship, and Rotary's motto last year was Rotary serves to change lives. And I think that really was appropriate. So I would like to thank each person in this club when I was president last year for all of your efforts to help make this award presentation possible. So thank you.
All right, thank you. I am so proud of this club. It truly is impressive what we have managed to accomplish in the last few years, and all of the new members who have joined our club, even while we were not meeting in person, and the fact that we're back in person again and hybrid, successfully hybrid, is really incredible. So I echo Steve's thanks to all of you. Couple more announcements. Let's see here. Jody, you have an announcement about the backpack project.
Hard to believe we're already near the end of September. December will be here before we know it. So I've already purchased the backpacks and the toys, really cute little stuffed fish for the backpacks this year. Leonora's been helping a lot by looking for socks and getting that type of stuff going. Lutz is going to, remember Lutz, is going to end up trying to talk to Dutch Bros and see if we can get some donations from them again. Banner Bank's going to support it with $250. So here's my little plug for everybody else that might want to think about making some donations toward the club event. For this, we're doing 216 backpacks again this year. That just is because we get them in 24 cases. So, you know, it's that kind of a situation. But anyway, looking forward to it. There's a lot of great stuff going on. I know Laurel already has the books for this year. She's done a fabulous job getting us great books year after year and stuff. So we're just looking forward to it and think about making a donation. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. That's a great idea. What we do is every December, we do what's called our backpack program. We provide backpacks filled with non-perishable food items, books, toys, mittens, gloves, hats, just a myriad of things to be able to give to these kids. They're kindergarten aged kids that would generally be at risk and not have food through the course of the Christmas holiday break. So we like to be able to supply them with peanut butter and tuna. I started to say tuna paste and that sounded really bad. But peanut butter, tuna, ramen, fruits, and all sorts of things, canned fruits and vegetables and chilies and things like that, granola bars, just stuff that's real easy for them to be able to have, be able to hopefully be able to use over a number of days while they're out and maybe not getting school lunches and breakfast. So it's a great program. I love it. It's my big passion for the group, and I appreciate all of you. Oh,
hi. If I have a donation to make, how do I make sure it goes to the backpack program if I do it via PayPal or check?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is to write a check to the RG Rotary Foundation with Backpack Project in the memo line. If you make the donation on PayPal, if you've already done that, or if you're going to do that, just make sure to make a memo note somewhere so that Laurel knows how to get it to Jan. But the best way to do it is to get it to the RG Rotary Foundation.
and if you can also let me know that you've done such, I would appreciate it, because I do keep a running list of income and expenses, and I like to be able to know where I'm at, you know, because I want to buy more stuff. So anyway, thank you guys very much. I'm so excited. It's almost here. Oh, hi, Debbie. Debbie asked what our budget is. The club budgeted $3,300 for us, which is fabulous. And so, of course, if we're able to collect additional donations, we may be able to buy some stuff. We can't get too many things because, as those of you that have been there doing our backpack stuffing event knows, we're getting really full in those backpacks, which is fabulous. And you got to have the kids be able to carry them home. But it is nice to be able to help offset so that if we don't use the 3,300 from the club, we're able to let the club use those additional funds for other projects that we've got. 3,300 should be able to cover us with, based on different donations we've got. I'm able to work with the food bank that is going to, oh, that's a great point. Thank you for reminding me about that, Patty. Actually, that reminds me, we need to make sure we always thank the Grants Pass Grocery Outlet, because Jesse is providing us with $1,000 worth of food to go into our backpacks again this year. So we're already working on that. And then any periphery additional needs that I've got, I generally end up buying from the food bank, which is able to give us a really good deal on the pricing and things of that sort too. So it's pretty darn exciting, but it's such a great community event. I mean, we get people, Dutch Bros and Grants Pass Grocery Outlet and all sorts of others doing it. And I know we're trying to see about at some point, maybe connecting up with some of the larger stores to see if they will maybe start donating socks and mittens and things like that. But up until that time, we'll buy them. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Tommy, did you want to make an announcement about the youth exchange event?
So because of yuck. Anyway, because of the youth exchange and some new folks, I wanted to let you know what youth exchange is. It's traditionally been, our club might select a student and we would send them out to a country that accepts us, and they would send one back here, and then we would provide 3 host families for that student. Right. And this year we've been on hiatus because of COVID for 3 years. So this year it's starting back up only as outgoing students. And so we're gathering together with the Wednesday club and the Friday club, and going to have one student go out. So her dad makes it happen. Dan Converse and Ann Bauer. So anyway, if you have questions, there's going to be an informational meeting. If you have questions, always talk to me about it if you wish, or Gina Marie. But the main thing for you to know is that there's an informational meeting next Wednesday, the 29th, Thursday night, which is the same night as our social, but that's too bad. But if you know a student, please let them know about it so they can go to Grants Pass High to the Career Center and learn more about it, take their folks with them and stuff. So any students that are out there, be, like juniors or seniors, maybe sophomores in high school, but the junior is really the right age. Then they kind of go as a senior. Sophomore, they go as a junior, and that's good too. So either way, I mean, because we have lots of kids that have gone out. I don't know what grade your kids were in, Doug, but mine was he was gone when he was a senior and he went to Denmark, which was a great experience. How old was Maddie and Chris? Okay, good. Yeah. So the process is, you get accepted by, we can only accept one probably this year, but you get accepted and you go out. First you have to, when we put your name forward, then you go to a December meeting of the whole district where all the other students come down, and then one is, a few are selected, and then they prepare then the rest of that year for leaving in next August. So it would be they would be gone the next school year. Did we start school yet? Yeah, we did start school yet. Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's a wonderful program, and I know we've got some amazing kids that are going to want to go. And I've always loved, for the last 13, 14 years, the weekend when they do the interviews.
It is fun.
But it's going to be different because we don't have the inbounds to come. So
I know.
that was always so much fun having the party with the kids and having them for dinner.
Oh yeah, we'd go to pizza and do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. I guess with all the kids from the district that want to go out, we could do that. Yeah, that's what I think. But because I guess the other countries aren't willing to send their kids out yet, or enough of them to make it a viable exchange. So I kind of a little bit question whether it's too early or not in the COVID scene, but who knows? That's true. That's true. And everybody's back in school and stuff. So it's a great opportunity for a student. Yes, sir.
Tommy, you said one. You mean one for club or one for?
Probably just one for the three of us. Yeah. That's what I'm told. So. Yeah, yeah. So maybe we can expand it. I'm not real sure, but we need to have a team to work on this. So Brenda? Okay, good. And that's a real important thing, is to have a team that works together on this, because, you know, we won't need a counselor because it's different. Yeah. Anyway.
So we need to sit down as a team and figure out how different it is and how we're going to keep it still.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Don or Lutz, did you want to share with us about the social event next week?
Lutz, Don.
Just do it.
All right, so our social is going to be next Thursday at Weekend Beer Company on Washington Avenue. And it seems only appropriate that we call it an Oktoberfest, since it's the Weekend Beer Company. And Lutz has actually contacted the truck that does hamburgers, and they're gonna do bratwurst and sauerkraut for us for that night.
Nice.
We're just gonna try and make it really kind of an Oktoberfest theme. We're gonna pretend like we're in Munich, only we'll be in Grants Pass.
Nice.
So we actually, Bev has set aside the reserved area and it starts at 5:30, but at Weekend Beer Company. So it's the grassy area on the right-hand side. And what's really nice about that, when you do reserve that, they have our own little bar area where we can order our drinks. And then I would highly encourage people to get a bratwurst with sauerkraut from the truck.
And if you happen to be the member of an Oompa band, please bring them that evening.
Right. Maybe we could just bring like a speaker, some kind of a thing, and we'll play music, Oompa music.
Yeah.
All right. And Bev, are we doing a did I see we're doing a fireside at 5 for any red badgers? So if you have a red badge or a blue badge and you want to come a little bit early at 5 o'clock, the fireside is one of the activities that helps us orient new members to our club and answer questions about Rotary. So if you can come a little early, you are welcome to. All right. Yes. Lutz, will you be wearing your lederhosen?
My lederhosen have been stolen.
Oh. If anyone else has lederhosen, we challenge you to wear them next week. Okay. I think that is all of the announcements that I had. So I will now turn it over to Kelly for a few minutes for Sergeant at Arms and Happy Bucks.
Why do does it have to stay in there? Much better.
Okay, well, I want to start out saying happy autumn to everybody, the best season of the year. And yeah, I'm assuming everybody there knows that too, that this horrid heat is probably over. Anyway, so before I tell you about our holiday, as that's my teachable moment, is I'm teaching you about holidays that are not traditional. Well, they're traditional, but they're not familiar to all of you. And if you'll remember, last time I talked about Michaelmas, which is a Celtic holiday, and it's about harvest. Many of the holidays should be about harvest at this time. But before I do that, let's talk about food in the meal train. I'm looking at everyone. except them, and saying, please experience the joy that comes from putting together a meal for the meal train. And the reason for that is there are a lot of unhoused folks right now that need our help. And as I know Doug has mentioned too, if you can't put together a meal, bring soup, bring foods that are already prepared. All you have to do is open them. And it's also a good idea to do that for another reason, and that is that they don't always know the numbers they're going to get. And so what if somebody brings food and there's not enough? Well, you're always going to have enough if you've got soup and things that are easy to prepare in the pantry. Okay, I am supposing they also need some paper products, so you might want to bring some of those as well. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Rosh Hashanah, which is the Jewish New Year. And so what I'm going to say is, well, I'm going to start that it starts this weekend. As with most, and it's referred to as a high holiday. With most Jewish holidays, they run on a lunar year. So it's a lunar calendar. And so it's not going to be quite the same as you would expect in our calendar. And it's going to start on the evening of Sunday, this coming Sunday, September 25th, and it's going to end on Tuesday, on sundown. And like I said, it's not a fixed date. It's like Easter, based on a lunar calendar. It's one of 3 feasts that occur in our autumn time. Its name, I thought, was interesting. Did you know that it comes from the command to blow a trumpet? Yeah, didn't know that. The biblical name is Teruah, which means Yom Teruah, which means the day of shouting or blasting. And how they celebrate it traditionally is with a ram's horn called a shofar. And a lot of times they'll ask children to be the ram's horn shofar blowers. This is a time for Jewish people to reflect on their past through the year, contemplate the future, and to reconnect with loved ones. They also have incredible feasting going on. A number of the traditional foods that are associated with Rosh Hashanah are apples and honey. And you'll note that lots of apples and honey dishes are eaten during that time. It signifies having a sweet and having a happy new year. Also, there are other traditional foods that are celebrated, and one is challah, which is a braided egg bread. And I have seen that done in a circle, which we all know the circle of life, and that idea, which goes from Native American and crosses over into every religion, I believe, and culture. And challah can definitely be done that way. Oh, it's yummy if you've never had it. Pomegranates are also eaten. And I love this one, fish heads. My thought exactly, but I have 2 kitties, so they would benefit. Yeah. Traditional dinners, dishes will be between families, but also community feasts as well. They'll also have things like pumpkins and squashes and dates, and they're all known. These symbolic foods are known as cinnamon, not cinnamon, synonym. There are many ways to say Happy New Year during Rosh Hashanah, but probably the most familiar one is Shana Tova. And so if someone says that to you, you can just say, and to you. So now we're going into happy bucks, sad bucks. And I'm giving 10 right now because I'm so happy the heat is over. And for giving those bucks, we have these, I've been noticing these wonderful little baskets. I'm assuming that's what they're for. But also for you people, you might want to put yours through PayPal. So let's get some hands for happy bucks right now. Ooh, goody, we have lots. And it's so wonderful to see Leonora here.
It's great to be here, and I have 10 happy bucks to celebrate the rain. I'm so happy to see the rains coming and the smoke leaving, and God bless all the people who have been threatened by the fires, and let's hope this is a new beginning.
We're with you, honey. Okay. Ooh, I'm seeing money everywhere.
Well, I have a $5 apology happy buck. When my phone rang, it was from Agatha Gutenhagen, who was an exchange student that stayed at my house for a number of years. But I didn't take her call, so I've got to go call her. Okay.
In the basket? Okay, pass the baskets. Okay, let's talk. Oh, look at all these hands. We'll start with Deb. You're on, Deb.
Hi, I have 100 happy bucks.
You're muted. Ma'am. I believe you're talking to yourself. There we go.
Fortunately, you know, when you mute yourself, nobody can hear you swearing as you're trying to put it back on. So that's a good thing. Anyway, Fritz and I just recently returned from Alaska. We went fishing. We had a wonderful time. I love fishing, and I had forgotten that, something I loved to do as a kid. And so that was a real gift. And my son Brad had a surgery that has gone well, and he's in the process of mending. And fortunately, he is mending because he's being a part of a celebration that we are working on this week, in which is the real this is the $100 reason. Tomorrow, my mother's would have been 100 years old, and she represents so many of the things that touch my life. As we're talking about Oktoberfest and the food and apple strudel. I mean, these are all just parts of who she was. And so Brad and I are working on making a dinner tomorrow that would be the kind of dinner you'd have when you went to grandma's house. All the way to an angel food cake from scratch. So stay tuned. We'll see. Maybe next week I'll make some from salad bucks because it fell or something. But anyway, and all those kids, RYLA kids and Tiffany, I shouldn't say kids, those young people, Tiffany and all the team that makes that happen. That is a very hopeful thing. So here. Rotary, you're awesome.
Yay. Yay, yay. Okay, I know Grant had his hand up, but I don't see him right this minute. I think he stepped away. Okay, so moving on. Okay, but I got to get Brenda first.
Hi, I have a happy 20 bucks for my gratitude for this club and the support and the love. And as crazy as this world is, and I know it's crazy for everybody, it's like it's upside down on its head and imploding. We need to stay strong, keep in the light with love in our hearts. And it's so much easier when I can get with my Rotary family after experiencing a crazy day like so many of them are. So thank you, Rotary.
Thank you.
Hi there. I have a happy buck or a happy $5 for the wonderful leadership that Mr. Steve Rowe provided us to achieve that presidential citation.
Here. All right. Do we have any more happy bucks? Oh, Grant is back. Okay, Grant, you're on.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm not exactly back, but I'm here, and I've got 25 happy bucks today just because seeing all of you makes me really happy. Thanks.
Yay. Oh. Thank you. It's wonderful to see you too. Dawn.
I have 10 happy bucks in honor of Chris Walker, who chose the right college to go to. He's leaving to be an Oregon Duck. And I've got to say that U of O is very lucky to have him. He's a wonderful young man.
Yes, indeed. Yay. I second that emotion. Ludi. Oh, that's a thumbs up. Sorry.
$5. So I've got a happy $5. Put the camera at myself here. How's that? I had $5. The shelter in town is the facility over near the hospital, not Foundry Road, but the shelter. There's a gentleman there with 2 babies. And we could use some high chairs. And so if anybody has any high chairs or knows as a neighbor, somebody has some old high chairs, the shelter could use 2. So send me an email or something. We'll figure a way of getting them there, please.
I have a happy 5 for the Rotary RYLA group and Interact and everybody who's helping out, because with COVID and everything coming back, our club is one of the few that the high school still has an Interact club. The other 2 right now don't. So I'm very proud of this group and those students out there.
Yes, and you, Deland.
10 happy bucks for Steve, 5 for Steve, and 5 for those students. They both had so much empathy when gonna make me cry because it's so good. The one talked about literacy and reading and teaching people how to care and so forth. It does teach empathy, and I hope she takes off with it. And I just think you should be very proud of that little group there you got going.
Great. I agree. And here to literacy too. Any others?
Maybe Steve wants the microphone for that box of goodies in the back. Oh, yeah.
We're doing a clean out of my garage, actually, and the back storage room here, and it's been stored in. So we have some Rotary mugs and some glasses that are back there, and feel free to take some. They're from previous days of Rotary, and they're great to have around the home.
All right, thank you. Doug, do you see any more hands? Okay, back to you, Gina Marie.
All right, just a couple more things. Next week, our program, I believe, is called Washed Ashore, Art to Save the Sea. So that sounds like a really interesting program. Today, as Kelly alluded to, is the autumn equinox. It's the official first day of fall. And so the thought that I wanted to leave you with is 2 pieces of information that I found that I thought were interesting because they were kind of counterpoints, but I liked both of them. One was that the autumn equinox marks the turning inwards, the beginning of darkness, a time of contemplation and rest. But autumn is also a second spring when every leaf is a flower. So I encourage all of you to take some time to reflect, let go of any negativity, and embrace the new beginnings. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.